I was in 1960, if you remember, exactly February 1st, 1960, these four young men at A&T College in Greensboro, North Carolina, demonstrated at a Woolworth's counter and, eating counter. And that was the first student stand-in. And after that, just a wave of students, it got so much press that a wave of student stand-ins across the nation began. And University of Texas was part of that with a group.
So-called sit-ins, I believe, at least.
Sit-ins, right. Sit-ins. I meant sit-ins and stand-ins. We did both, but that was a sit-in at that Woolworths counter in Greensboro, North Carolina. But anyway, in 1960, right after that, a group of Black and white students formed at the University of Texas, the Students for Direct Action. And I was part of that and participated fully in the stand-ins and the sit-ins. And I say stand-ins because we would go to the theater on the drag. And of course, it was segregated. Those were businesses, theaters and so forth, restaurants. And we would try to sit in. We were asked to leave. We would leave. Nobody ever got arrested that I remember. And we would then go to the theaters. Now, these are Black and white students together. We would go to the theater and we would stand in. My friend and I, the one who took me to who invited me to go with him to see Rip Torn, King Lear. Well, we would always stand together and we would go up to the counter because it was always a Black student and a white student. And so he and I always paired up, and we would go up to the counter to the theater booth, and we would ask for 2 tickets, and they would say, "No, we're sorry, we do not serve Negroes." And so the white student probably said, "Well, I'm not a Negro, but now this is my," that's what we were called in those days. "This is my good friend, and I want to go in, and she wants to go in," and so forth. They said, "Well, we don't serve." And so we go all the way to the back of the line and start all over again. And this is the way we did doing the stand-ins. And in the sit-ins, we would go into some of the little restaurants on campus, not off campus. They weren't on campus. They were off campus, because on campus, you could eat anywhere you wanted to. Because remember, it's fully desegregated on campus. Classes, everything, except the marching band. But and athletics were not at that time. But we would sit in and stand in on the drag off campus, right there, bordering the campus. And we worked there. We had meetings. Students for Direct Action brought Martin Luther King back in 1962 as a featured speaker at the university, of which about 3,000 students showed up.